everyone, comic book reviewer here. This time reviewing on Pokemon Legends Arceus. Now, as you know, Pokemon Legends Arceus is a 2022 action role-playing game that was done by Game Freak, as well as being a prequel to Pokemon Diamond and Pearl. Now, I would say Pokemon Legends Arceus is basically saying, what if the 2008 film, The Forbidden Kingdom, was made into a sort of Pokemon-like game? And the premise of the game is meant to focus as you as the player, who ends up going back in time by Arceus, as well as helping Professor Levenden and also as well the Galaxy Expansion Team back before they became Team Galactic in helping complete the Pokedex and helping to deal with the noble Pokemon that have gone in a frenzy. I think the game has a good idea for a story, and I like the idea that, yeah, you don't really battle other trainers, but you also get to kind of journey out to the unknown to find other Pokemon to fill up the Pokedex. And I like the idea that, yeah, you start off with either Cyndaquil, Oshawott, or Rowlet, giving you a different than the other three basic starters. And I kind of like the idea that, yeah, there is a lot more to explore, and much like Sun and Moon, as well as Sword and Shield, in the past, there was also 17 new forms of Pokemon, known as Hisuian forms, which were for Growlithe, Arcanine, Voltorb, Typhlosion, as well as Zorok. And I like the idea that it changes a bit around and not being the typical from other regions one. It gives you a sense that there were Pokemon beforehand that just got affected as time moved on. I would say, yeah, when you also do master a move, you can actually use it for your advantage, but I also do kind of feel that the game does get a little too repetitive when you keep capturing the same Pokemon just to fill up the Pokedex, and sometimes when you have to complete a sort of next sort of level up, you are going to be grinding a bit massively. And I think the Alpha Pokemon aren't a bad idea, I just think are a little caught in a bit too quickly. I think they could have built it up as a sort of side boss for kind of the player to deal with before dealing with the noble Pokemon, sort of being like a second in command. And I also do kind of feel, yeah, some of the quests do require for you to either sacrifice a Pokemon for a certain task, so you have to choose wisely and make sure that there's no real sacrifice that can affect you badly. But also, the more Pokemon you do capture, the more sort of Pokemon you are going to have to sacrifice or release, which does get a little annoying if you have to sacrifice whatever you can, or sometimes you have to sacrifice a Pokemon that you know that isn't really going to be that powerful or not going to be that strong. And I like the idea that, yeah, you also do kind of have other areas before the events of Sinnoh, giving these mountains, lands, snowy fields, and so on, showing you what Sinnoh was like before technology took over. I also like the idea that you do have kind of past versions of the characters' ancestors, making it feel a bit like seeing what some of the characters were like before the future generation either gone good or bad. I think my only real gripe is not having a version of Wally, and I think Wally wasn't a bad rival, I just think was thrown in to kind of be this more hyperactive, good-hearted kid member. I think what made Pokemon Gold and Silver work, Silver was basically a dark reflection of you as the player if you stole a Pokemon and never really moved on in life. I think as well, what I also give the game credit is when you use your flute, you can actually use Pokemon for transportations. Like, yeah, having the sort of version of Stantler helping you to get around places. When you have the version of Ursaline helping you to locate items. And yeah, some of it does work if you need to get to a quick location. I think when you've got the noble Pokemon, some of them can be quite difficult, and some of them you aren't sure if how you're supposed to fight them, because when I battled the Arcanine noble, I wasn't too sure if I was meant to jump over the ring of fire, but when I realised I had to throw the sort of ingredients to help deal with the kind of Pokemon calm down thing, I think there was a lot more I think Legends Arceus could and might have been if given to the right people. I think there was more intentions to do this more with Legends Arceus, explore further than what we should. I would like to see other Pokemon Legends series covering the other legendaries, showing how time and all that moved on. I think Pokemon Legends Arceus does get too repetitive, and some of the time, yeah, you are going to get a little bored doing the same stuff over and over again. So I think this game definitely deserves a thumbs in the middle. Not great, not the best, but it's kind of alright. So, Comic Reviewer here, signing out.